loves. I hope everybody's doing good. So this is Crystal Rose Tarot and I am Holly, and we are going to take a look and see what you need to know. So in a reading like this is pretty much just whatever messages may come through. That these could be things that you may not be seeing. This could be clarifying some things that your intuition may be catching and you're getting kind of confused about, perhaps. So this is just a significant clarifier for you to say, yep, that's okay. So I'm on the right track, you know. So we never know what we're going to get in a reading like this. If you've been asking for a sign, you've been asking for information or clarity, this is definitely a good message that is a pick a card that's for that. So with all that being said, so I am going to use the feminine wisdom oracles. That does not mean that you have to be female. This is just the energy. And with the feminine wisdom oracles, this is more of like nurturing yourself, or how to nurture yourself, or different messages on that. Okay, so that's what these oracles are about. And I'm going to give these a quick shuffle, and then we're going to pull 3 cards. I normally do 4 piles, but today I really only have energy for 4. And I want to also do a collective for my members as well today. So, okay. Give these a quick shuffle here. If y'all interested in the membership, I do collective readings over there and some pick a cards. Information for all that's down below. I'm not open for personal readings right now. I'm going to reopen in, I am anticipating January, mid-January. So y'all keep an eye out for that too. Okay, so pile 1, what you need to know. Pile 2 and pile 3. Okay, so let's see what we have. Pile 1, y'all have number 31, forgiveness, releasing anger and resentment. Okay. Pile 2, you have number 35, harmony, peace, and balance. And pile 3, y'all have number 27, grounding, here and now. Okay. So if you need it, there's always that little bit of a meditation after the intro. The way you can go about that is, if you want to just pause the video right there and you close your eyes, take a big deep breath, hold it at the top for around 4 seconds or so. And when you let your air out, whatever pile you feel the most drawn to, before you do the meditation, I would always recommend to set your intentions. So whatever messages that you need to hear for your highest good, that's always important to kind of put that energy out there. And also remember that you are in control of this reading. So don't allow reading to take away from your day, take away from your mood, and always remember that you have the ability to click off at any time. If you start to feel not so good, start to feel uncomfortable in any way, these are always meant to be helpful, not hurtful. Please keep that in mind. So with that being said, timestamps for everything will be down below, and I will see you at your pile. Okay, pile 1. So if you chose number 31, forgiveness, releasing anger and resentment. So it's interesting that she's got that fox sitting in her lap right there, because the fox is asleep, you know, and feels very comfortable with her. So a fox can represent, of course, deception. I know we see it as that. But foxes are also very playful. They're kind of like dogs, you know, but they can be sneaky. And this may be something that you're holding some anger or resentment about. The way that she's holding her heart there, and the sign of being at peace. So obviously this is about forgiveness. 31 is 4. 4 is, it has to do with the home. 4th house is about home, safety, stability. It's also Cancer energy. So how you feel and forgiving yourself could be important here. Forgiving yourself for how you feel when it comes to being angry or upset over a situation, right? I think forgiveness is here, but more so this has to do with forgiveness of self. So let's take a look and see. This says, forgiveness, a conscious decision to release feelings of resentment. Invite peace into your life. Ask your heart to release the anger that is slowing your growth and causing your suffering. Liberate yourself from the position of resentment. Forgiving oneself is a challenging but necessary process towards healing. Write a letter to yourself and do your best to be compassionate and kind. Notice how mistakes that you've made were created out of fear. Put your hands over your heart. Forgive yourself. Affirmations. I will stop being so hard on myself. I deserve forgiveness. I am worthy of my own empathy. And this is on page number 75, which may be relevant as well. To me, that would be indicating alignment and change. So I do feel like that you're feeling this urge or desire to want to change the way you feel about a situation, something that you've been carrying, wanting to forgive yourself for, the choices that you made or the mistakes that you made, or not seeing something clearly, or, mistaking something for what it wasn't. There's just a lot of different things that can go into that, which is where we need to get some cards. Okay, guys, so we're going to use the Twin Flame Audio Oracles. I'm sorry I already had a pause, but all of a sudden when I started to try to do y'all's reading, my throat started to close up on me. So that could have something to do with something being hard to verbalize, Okay. All right, one more shuffle here. Tell me about what pile 1 needs to know about forgiveness. What does pile 1 need to know when it comes to forgiveness? What does pile 1 need to know when it comes to... We have consuming passion. What does pile 1 need to know when it comes to forgiveness? Ocean of tears. Whoop, 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 whoop. First, we have a big heart. The clock is slow. Sorry, that was my son being goofy. He's 17. So I don't know what he's doing. And healing heart is here as well. So that healing heart is definitely this forgiveness energy, right? Yeah, we have battlefield. And that song, Love is a Battlefield, just started playing in my head. I think this forgiveness, I think that you've been frustrated here because the process of healing is taking a long time. I think that this battlefield has to do with you internally fighting with yourself here to try to release or get past something that's been incredibly painful. We have the Ocean of Tears here. With healing heart, I do feel like that you have this profound want to kind of forget and move on from something and heal. It's like a wound that keeps reopening, and it's hard to understand why that is. At times you may feel like that you're kind of over it and you're moving forward and you feel strong, and then at the drop of a hat, all of a sudden it's like a memory or something triggers you, and it calls you to go back to a place that you don't want to be in. This Ocean of Tears here is obviously somewhere that you don't want to be. With this consuming passion, with Ocean of Tears being attached next to that with regrets and mistakes, I do feel like that you may feel as if you were drawn towards a situation or towards someone when it comes to a desire, or perhaps the chemistry that you have, or your infatuation, you were kind of drawn in through that more lustful way, or at least this is how maybe someone else kind of drew you in, and maybe you feel like you kind of fell for that. Of course, that's going to come more out in the tarot once we get the tarot out, which I'm going to go ahead and grab, actually. Actually, I was going to get something different, but I kind of changed my mind. Give me just 1 second, guys. I have a card deck. There it is. Super easy to grab. So, this is the Ethereal Visions Tarot. I don't know why I feel like I need to grab this one, but here we are. So, there may have been something like that going on, and this is what you feel at a loss with. You do have emotional loss, defeat, deep sadness, heartbreak, and regrets and mistakes. So, I do feel like that you feel as if you made a mistake. Maybe you feel as if with this big heart here, genuine love, that you trusted someone, with your heart, or that you feel like someone really loved you, really cared about you. You may have felt, there's this feeling of feeling kind of fooled. And with this forgiveness and releasing anger and resentment, I do feel like for some of you, even if you may not fully realize it, this could be anger and resentment that you're holding within yourself, like towards yourself, for going in a direction or going towards something that was lustful, or you didn't see it for that, and that's what it was. That's going to look a little different for everybody, whatever this has to do with, this consuming passion. But I do feel like for you, there was genuine love here. With a big heart, it says kind and loving, generous, can be trusted with your heart. So I think the idea of trust being broken, or realizing that something wasn't worth trusting, and you kind of were fooled into that, is what you're trying to heal from. But I think that you're battling with this because maybe perhaps there is a lot of anger there from that. With this, the clock is slow progress, will take a while and not the right time. I also feel like that, I think that you're kind of upset because of the time this is taking. And perhaps even the love that you have, that's something that doesn't really just disappear. That could be part of this whole anger as well, is still actually caring about someone that you don't want to care about. It's always a difficult feeling to have. Okay. Interesting reading. I saw the High Priestess. It also could be with, sacred cycles. It also could be with maybe you keep going back and forth here with someone. This won't be everybody's message. This could just be internally, or both. With our fights or arguments or disagreements, just not being on the same page here. You keep kind of going through the emotions, or going through the cycle here of this. With someone or with yourself, and this is, it's like a constant battle with someone. Trying to get someone to see or understand how they hurt you is never like a good direction to go in, because depending on who you're dealing with, they may not ever feel like they did anything wrong, even if clearly that they did. So that could be something that causes you to be angry, of course, and hold resentment naturally. But this is also just battling yourself with the cycle, wanting to get out of this cycle. Okay. I do feel like this has to do with something from the past, because I feel like that you're well enough into this that you feel as if like this is something that you should be moved on from at this point. But forgiveness is what you're missing, and I don't necessarily feel like that has to do with forgiveness of the other person as much as it does within yourself, just forgiving yourself. You have opening your heart, healing old emotional pain, and preparing for new love here. So I think there's a part of you that's ready to release this altogether and just kind of step into a new energy, step into a new cycle, prepare for new love even. And this is why you keep, this is where the frustration's coming from, right? Keep going back to this sadness. Okay. Tell me what this is about for pile 1. Consuming passion. You have the 4 of Cups. Yeah. I think that you do kind of sit in this place to where you reanalyze things a lot. You kind of stay in this energy where you're going back to the past. You're going back to what has occurred. You're having a hard time releasing. You may also, for some of you, be having a hard time releasing the amount of compassion that you shared, or you thought you shared here with someone. With big heart and consuming passion, I do feel like that this is something that was intense for you. But I also feel like it may have been something that was meant to be. So let's keep going. I'll tell you what I mean by that as we keep going. You have a King of Pentacles here. Capricorn energy. You have a 10 of Wands in the reverse. You have a Queen of Swords in the reverse. This is the resentment here. And the Queen of Swords gets to be the Queen of Swords because she doesn't put up with any nonsense, right? She looks at things logically and clearly, and the reason she's that way is because she has gotten her heart broken, and she no longer is in an energy of being so empathetic or being so compassionate or being so, open with an open heart. She's taught herself how to be logical in order to protect her heart. Now in reverse, this is coming from more of a distorted place. So I do feel like there may be someone here. Obviously you have a Queen and a King here, so this could be this other person, right? That has easily or simply like released the burden or the weight from this experience with that 10 of Wands in reverse, and this could be mostly where this resentment is coming from. Yeah. Let's keep going. Why is that 4 of Cups here? There's the Queen of Wands in the reverse. Okay. Some of you, there could be more than one person here. This Queen of Wands in reverse, though.
Mom, can I have a Band-Aid?
What for, babe?
For boots.
Where?
Right there.
Oh, on your foot? Yeah, hold on just 1 second. So sorry, guys, but how crazy is it my kid came in here and asked for a Band-Aid because there's a Band-Aid on his heart? Just a weird coincidence, right? I mean, how many cards have got Band-Aids on them? So, and it was a Band-Aid he needed for his foot, and a foot reminds me of the journey, right? The progress and the healing journey. So anyway, so the Queen of Wands here in reverse, Sagittarius and Libra is over here, by the way. I do feel like this has to do with the past, this Queen of Wands energy. Of course, this could represent someone else, right? But this can also, I feel like, is more so coming from you. I think it's the Queen of Wands. You do have some distorted feminine energy here. So let's just say this situation wasn't, you weren't able to represent yourself in the best way in this situation because of the anger, frustration, or hurt, obviously. And I think this is what you really think about when you think about the past, because the 4 of Cups, a lot of people come across and say, oh, that's about boredom and whatever, all that kind of stuff, where you're not like focused on what's going on because you're focused more on what happened. But I mean, that's the thing is that he's sitting here and he's looking at these 3 cups, the 3 cups of, kind of almost sitting against that tree, reevaluating Like, how did I get here? How did I get here? What did I experience in the past? And it comes from a place of not being happy about how things are. And that's why he's sitting there reevaluating, how did I get here? The Queen of Wands in reverse, she is someone that does hold resentment when she's in reverse, because she wasn't represented in the right way. So this could be you not representing yourself properly because of a situation and what's going on, but it could also be someone else not representing you or treating you in a particular way. The Queen of Wands, she's normally very confident, right? She's very secure in who she is. When she's in reverse, she comes across as being very, insecure in who she is. And this could be something that you're thinking about, something that you're looking back on, is why did this situation make me feel insecure? Or why did this person make me feel this way? You're kind of going through that and reevaluating that, right? And it's there's resentment here, because the Queen of Wands is also someone that knows who she is. She knows who she is. She knows that her worth. She knows what what her value is, because she's worked really hard to get to that point. And in reverse, it's like someone not seeing her in that same light, and that in itself can cause this insecurity, right? Let's keep going. Why is that King of Pentacles here? I also feel like there's a lot of unknown, or a lot of questions, unanswered questions pertaining to a relationship or the past that's here that you've had to kind of sit with. Like, you didn't get the benefit of knowing the circumstances or of what happened. You may have had someone that just kind of ran away from the situation and just closed the door, and you're kind of left sitting against the street going, what the hell just happened? Okay, so why is that King of Pentacles here? You have an Emperor here. Let's keep going for a second. Why is that Ten of Wands here? The Ace of Pentacles. There's two different things that I'm feeling from this. One of them is, for some of you, you may have tried to move on, or you're already in a new connection or a relationship, and you're having a hard time with that new person because of the past that you're realizing you haven't fully healed from. So you're still carrying some insecurities into that relationship. For others of you, I think this is someone that's coming across, and it's funny because in this deck, the Emperor, the way that he's like looking at you, it's like almost like he's sticking his nose up to you. And with that King of Pentacles is kind of in the same energy. So you're dealing with somebody here that's very, I have to say, like, this is a very kind of cold cut energy. And I do feel like that this was someone that you're dealing with that quickly kind of moved on from the situation. The Ten of Wands with that Ace of Pentacles is saying, basically, I'm going to release this burden and move on to something else, So this could be someone else having a new beginning, is, kind of pressuring you or putting pressure on you to move forward as well. There's some unfairness here, an unjust that's here that you feel. This is all like building into resentment, right? So hold on, let's see what this Queen of Swords is in reverse, which is leading up to the Queen of Swords. So yeah, the Seven of Pentacles. What are you waiting for? Okay, the Six of Wands in the reverse, and the Page of Pentacles. I think that you've been waiting for someone to recognize or apologize, or to wake up to something, or to see, like, the damage that they've caused here in some way. And I don't think that I mean, obviously you haven't gotten that. So in this energy of waiting here for something to happen has put you in a place of holding on to some sort of resentment or experience. It's almost like this feeling of feeling owed something, right? And when you don't receive that, there's a feeling of bitterness around it. So that's why forgiveness is here, because it's releasing that resentment. Okay. What about the Queen of Wands in the reverse with that Four of Cups? Tower in reverse. There is this energy of you still reminiscing about something that occurred in the past. And like I said before, there are a lot of unknown around this. This was something that came as a shock with that Tower. This was something that was came on very sudden, and it's something that you weren't prepared for that has happened here that put you in this place. So this is what you keep kind of reminiscing on or ruminating on, you know, is the Tower, and maybe how that Tower, all kinds of stuff. There's lots of questions, guys, that I'm feeling here when it comes to that Tower and that Queen of Wands in reverse. Lots of questions about the Tower itself falling, you know. You're sitting in the aftermath, but I think you're sitting in the aftermath on your own by yourself, trying to pick up the pieces of what someone else has done. And I think maybe you've been kind of waiting for some sort of Page of Pentacles here and Six of Wands, someone to come in and kind of apologize or give some sort of understanding or clarity or truth or something like that. And that just hasn't happened. It's funny too, because in this Tower, he's falling. He's got his mask on. So that King of Pentacles and the Emperor, please. Aries energy there. Yeah, Nine of Wands. So this to me feels like someone that's still defending themselves. If this is someone new you're dealing with, this is someone that is still that is standing their ground or feeling this need to defend themselves. So I don't know if you're pressuring this person or if your insecurities are showing, but they're taking it. They're standing their ground here. And that's the other thing. If this is someone from your past and the whole reason that you're here in this forgiveness, then this is definitely someone that feels like that they are in the right position. They feel as if they and this could be why the anger's coming out, because I can see that. And you going through this ocean of tears, and this trying to heal, battling this back and forth, and this person kind of standing very strong in their conviction, and that they are this Emperor and this King of Pentacles, and they've done what's right in this situation, and they do no wrong, like this guy here sticking his nose up, that of course is going to bring some anger and resentment. So tell me about what that Ace of Pentacles and that Ten of Wands is. Yeah, the Seven of Swords. So I'm not surprised to see that deception with the fox, and then you have the mask here with this guy. It's in reverse with that Ace of Pentacles. So, I mean, it kind of feels like someone that is... I think that you've been waiting for an opportunity. I think that you've been hoping that you have an opportunity to kind of clear the deception, or... I think whenever we go through something with somebody, we always hold on to that little bit of hope that, that person wasn't what I think they are now. Wasn't what they're showing me through their actions. They really loved me. There was this part of them that really cared. They really considered me. There had to have been something else that was going on, or maybe it was me. You know, you go through that kind of thing. And I think that you've taken accountability here as much as you can in the situation. And I think that you've hoped that this person was also going to step up and take accountability in some sort of way. But I don't think that this feels like a conversation or a sit down or an opportunity to really kind of lay everything out with that 10 of Wands that you've been kind of waiting for, that has not occurred or has not happened. With that 7 of Swords in reverse is also, again, a lot of unanswered questions that you never got the answers to. And so, yeah, you're in this Queen of Swords that's here. You know, you're hurt and upset. Why is that Queen of Swords in the reverse with that 7 of Pentacles? 2 of Cups. Why is this so difficult here with this 2 of Cups? Yeah, there's, so you know, we talked about this here, right? About, this is almost like you being angry with yourself because you actually still care about this person, or you still have genuine love for this person, or whatever the situation is. And you've had this, like, this is kind of like having high hopes that you'll be able to, this person will bring you something, you know, something. And I think that this is a feeling of kind of bitter with yourself for even feeling that way, even hoping for that. I think that at times you may sit down and be really upset. I think the most upset you are is the fact that you actually still care. I think that's what brings you the most pain, is the fact that you actually still care about this person. I think that if you could, you would shut that down. That's the Queen of Swords in reverse. I think that you felt like it with time, maybe that would happen. I also feel like that you're kind of hard on yourself here because there's a part of you that kind of knew who this person was. But maybe you gave them kind of the benefit of a doubt, or you had others telling you who this person was. Yeah. But that, so we have a Knight of Wands here that just came out in reverse for that 2 of Cups. I feel like this also has to do with you feeling as if you were kind of reckless with giving your love away, or agreeing to a partnership, or agreeing to a relationship where there was a part of you that knew, you know, there's this, give me a card for that kind of knew who this person was. Yeah, look, Knight of Cups in reverse. Knight of Cups in reverse, Knight of Wands in reverse. How do you see this person now? How do you see this person now? 2 of Wands in reverse. You may feel like this person's making bad decisions or going down a bad path, or choosing, I don't know, let me keep going. For some of y'all that's the case, but not everybody. Ace of Swords. I feel like you see this person clearly. Yeah, I think clearly now you see that this was a bad decision. This was the wrong way. This was the wrong path you should have taken. This is that 4 of Cups coming back out. This is like sitting there thinking, boy, God, if I could go back, I would have never given my cup away to this person. I knew I shouldn't have done it when I did it, but I did it anyways, you know. And there's this fight internally with why I fell for that. 4 of Swords is a card of rest. How are you seeing this person with this 2 of Wands in the reverse? The 3 of Pentacles. You see now that it was a bad decision to commit to this person or work with this person. Tell me about the Ace of Swords, Justice in reverse. You see clearly now that this person was never capable of bringing you any kind of fairness or just. I think this is a breakthrough for you, though. I think, especially with the Seven of Pentacles and you kind of waiting for this Page of Pentacles to come in with that Six of Swords. You know, this is, to me, guys, this is about like that, having that rescuer kind of mentality, though. So, wanting someone to come in and kind of rescue you from a situation, rescue you from the pain that you're feeling. And I think that you've been in that place with this person, and that's just, you know, a realization that that's just a mindset that is not helping you in this situation. Thinking that that's something that's going to occur, or even going to take place or happen, is not helping you in the situation. This is a breakthrough here, is that you're realizing that sometimes you don't actually get the justice that you deserve. Sometimes the scales don't actually balance out in the way that you want them. And we can't always see what's happening behind the scenes either. And I think that's a realization that you need to really open yourself more up to, is that you don't know exactly what this person is going through. They're coming across here in a very stern, cold, like strong, independent kind of energy. Is that what's really going on? Not with the Nine of Wands. I mean, that's somebody that has been battered and bruised, and they're having a hard time standing on their own. But, you know, this is somebody that will really let their pride kind of control a lot of situations in their life. So if it comes to this person letting their ego or their pride, or putting that to the side in order to kind of come through for you, this is not the person that you can rely on for that, you know? And I think that that's kind of a realization that you're coming into as well. And not only that, but I don't know that this person actually fully sees that they've done wrong. I think that they have somehow or another have manipulated maybe even themselves into thinking or realizing that they were the ones that were in the control, or they were the ones that are they're right in their position of where they are, or whatever it is, that how they've reacted here in whatever way. And I know that may sound bizarre and crazy to you, because of the pain that you feel from this, but you know, I think that's an ego's protective way of manipulating itself into believing that they are in the right, so that they don't have to, you know, they don't have to swallow their pride in any kind of way. So yeah, you see this as you're not going to get any kind of justice here in this situation. And I think that you need to see that as a breakthrough, so that you can have more of an ability to move forward, you know. The Four of Swords, Page of Wands in reverse. I also feel as if, like, you see this person, for some of you, you may know, but you may be kind of seeing this person as being very immature or impulsive, and you may be kind of sitting and resting on that as far as, you know, how did I not see this, or why did I not pay attention here? Yeah, the Sun, the more clarity, you know, more truth and understanding here. Tell me about anything about this person that pile 1 needs to know that they may not know. Ten of Cups in reverse. I honestly don't feel like this person is happy where they are. But most importantly, guys, I just don't feel like this person could have fulfilled you in the way that you deserve either. I mean, this is just not someone that's able to do that. But I don't feel like this, if you want to know the truth here, I don't feel like that this person is fulfilled. The Magician in reverse. This person is, they're a manipulator. Maybe a master manipulator with this Magician here in reverse. The Nine of Cups is here. This is somebody that is very, like, they're happy with the situation as long as it's bringing them fulfillment for themselves. They're not concerned or worried about anyone else's fulfillment, anyone else's happiness. This is someone that is very selfish, and they'll go towards whatever they feel fulfilled in the moment. But we all know, those cups don't last forever. Tell me about the Ten of Cups in the reverse, the Hermit in reverse, Virgo. I don't think this person does a lot of like soul searching when it comes to what is happily ever after to them. This feels like somebody that's more of a shapeshifter, or like they manipulate situations or others for their benefit in the moment, Why is the Magician here in reverse? The Devil in reverse, yeah. Why is I don't know if I really need to talk about that too much, but you do have Gemini and Capricorn and Virgo here as well. Nine of Cups, and the Seven of Wands in reverse. If something around this person is not making them, let's just say a person, okay, because it could be other things out of their control, of course, but a person, let's just say a situation, a person, if something gets to where it no longer is fulfilling to them or brings happiness to them or brings something to them in some kind of way, then this is someone that would just walk away or let that go. This is not someone that is considerate, okay? And I'm going to be honest, guys, they may come across that way. They may do things physically that seem considerate, but you have to acknowledge what this person's wanting from you at the time they're doing those things. This is not somebody that would do certain things and not expect something in return. This is somebody that would do those things trying to get you to see them in a certain way so that you are more likely to give to this person and you be considerate towards them. It's not something that lasts. Yeah, more clarifier for that. Nine of Pentacles in reverse. So basically, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse is when you don't have what it is that you need, and so manipulating situations when you don't have what it is that you need. Okay. You also have a Page of Cups in the reverse and the Five of Swords in reverse. This is someone that would also have an immature way of making amends. So they may send you a message like, I wish you well. Or I hope that you can find happiness and peace one day. That's a good one. I've heard that before. And it's like, for what? All the horrible things that you did to me, taking advantage of me, using me, whatever the case is. You hope I find peace one day? Yeah. You too, bud. It's that kind of a feeling to it. See the sarcasm in my voice? Can y'all tell that I've heard that before? So that bitterness is there. That bitterness is a part of your healing. Just keep that in mind. Okay. At some point, you have to stop, fooling yourself into believing that this is someone better than who they represented themselves as to you. They're exactly who you have figured out them to be. And at some point, you have to have that realization, that breakthrough, that clarity that this is who they are. And because if you don't, it's only going to end up hurting you in the long run. Just like those of you that may be in a new relationship, you may be already starting to see the effects of that, showing up in a level of being overly guarded or overly protective of yourself in some way, and that kind of messing with the new relationship. Okay. Let's get some advice with the tarot, and then we'll get a few other cards to close. Tell me, what advice can you give pile 1 here with what they need to hear? What kind of advice can you give them about the situation? Judgment. Face judgment. Just face the reality is what it's saying. Just face the truth. Face the reality of the cards that you've been dealt. You know, what is here? What is on the table? Not waiting for someone to change their mind and realize, oh my God, I was a total crappy person. Just wake up one day and say, oh, well, what did I do to pile 1? What a jerk. You know, that's just not going to happen. I mean, it's just not a realistic way of thinking. So you have to be able to, in the process of healing, you know, you have to be able to just accept what is, so, and face judgment so that you can have a new beginning for yourself and you can release this and move forward. Not holding any kind of resentments. You didn't know any better than this. This person showed you or represented themselves in a sincere way. You were only following your heart here. So that's never wrong, you know. Scorpio energies there. There's that Page of Cups in the reverse again. It's kind of the same message I've already said, but and the Empress in reverse. Don't forget who you are. And I think that that's what's happening here, is that this person has caused you to kind of forget who you are. Anybody can be fooled. Anybody. There are very well calculated people out there that learn how to take advantage of others in situations or to gain certain things from others through love. Love is the one thing that you will find yourself doing things that you wouldn't normally find yourself doing. Is love, is emotions for someone. This is someone that utilizes that in order to get their needs met, in order to get what they need from you in the situation. That has nothing to do with who you are. That has everything to do with who this person is. And it will take some time to rebuild yourself. And yeah, you're going to go through these cycles of where you're battling that mind in your head. But it's repetition, you know, it's memory. You have to keep reminding yourself of that, and just keep reminding yourself of that over and over. Don't fall too far into this hope that someone's going to come and rescue you from this, what has occurred and how you feel in your emotions. You know, save yourself from reliving this experience over and over in your mind. Get up, live for yourself, live for what you have to look forward to. Okay, let's take a look at that actually. What do you have to look forward to in the near future? You have the Well. So this is a special card in this deck, and it's in reverse. So the Well, I feel like y'all are going to come out of this, this well that's here. This is what you have to look forward to. You know, she has her sage there. She's cleansing everything. It being in reverse, it's not like you're going into the well. You will come through this. This healing will suffice, right? It will end. Yeah, the Nine of Swords in reverse. It's just clarifying the same thing I just said. You're going to get past this. This is not something that's going to hold you down forever, but it's also something that it's saying, like, you know, this is really kind of up to you here. And how long, yeah, and Death in reverse, and how often or how much you want to repeat a cycle. Same thing here, how much you battle with this. It's just like when you lift weights, you know, when you first start, you can't lift very much, or, you know, you're just weaker. But once you just keep lifting and keep lifting and keep lifting, well, before you know it, 15 pounds feels like 5. You know what I mean? That's the same thing when I'm talking about your mindset in the situation. You know, you kind of have to write it down and say it is what it is, and this is what it is. Forgive yourself for loving someone, you know, that you, for who you are as a person. And move forward, and you just kind of have to keep reminding yourself that, well, I love that person. That's why I did what I did. That's why I chose what I chose, and then move forward. And you just have to keep saying that. You just have to keep doing it, and before you know it, you're going to get stronger and stronger and stronger. Look at this. You have the Artist at the bottom, which is the other card from this deck. And this is about you building that castle in the sky, right? But here you have this tree that's here that he's kind of mimicking. And it's about that strength, putting those roots into the ground. The more and more you do this, the more and deeper those roots are going to go, the more sturdier that tree is going to be. So let's get an overall card for advice. I'm actually going to get a postcard for y'all. Why not? Let's do that. And then we'll get some charms to close. So I hope this was helpful. Kind of overall. Yeah. Okay, so let's see what we have here. This says, unlock your magic. Dearest you, going the extra mile to achieve your dreams and putting in some overtime will reap big rewards. Now is the time for you to act, to stir up some energy, and to put those plans into action. There are many windows of opportunity that close. There are many windows of opportunity that open but close quickly when you don't take the risk and go for it. Today, be confident that your hard work will pay off, and you'll feel that satisfaction and fulfillment of reaching your desired outcome. It might turn out even better than you expected. Isn't that amazing? Remember, however, much work that you're willing to put in, we will match it tenfold on our end. Everyone over here is rooting for you to win the game of life. So just do it. Loving you so, so much. For some of you, this has put a damper on other areas in your life. Perhaps maybe something that you're, building or working on. When we're going through pain and when we're going through, think about it. I don't think this is acknowledged as much, of course, but when we have some sort of situation, let's just say that we broke something, God forbid, we broke something like our leg or our arm or something, and we have if I broke my hand, that's going to keep me from being able to work consistently in the way that I normally do. So that's going to put me down. My algorithm's going to be just gone off of there. And how that's going to affect me. Well, I don't think we acknowledge as much when we're hurting from a situation, when our hearts are hurting, when we're healing from something, when we're going through all that. And how much that actually also affects our everyday life, our relationships, our work, our careers, our projects, our families, everything. So give yourself a break here, But know that this is also something to help pick you up, something to help you drive forwards, a reason to get up every day, a reason, something to inspire you. Can have to do with this dream that you're trying to put together, something that you're building or something that you're working on, even if it has to do with your career and that ladder that you're trying to move up towards. So keep that in mind, okay? Okay, let's get some initials and some charms. Oh, we got a lot of charms. So you have the crab. There's that number 4. There's that 4th house, Cancer energy. So you have 4 here too. When I mentioned that in the beginning, 3 is about growth and expansion, and 1 would be that, fresh new energy or that new beginning. So it's okay to make mistakes. You have the sell ship, so definitely selling away. I just heard the song "Sell Away, Sell Away, Sell Away." Started playing in my head. So 6 of Swords, kind of moving into calmer waters, is something that's here. You are worth it. Gotta love that coming out. Love is never wasted. Yeah, that's something that, forgiveness-wise, knowing that You know, you may kind of do that to yourself too. Why did I do this? Why did I give my love to this person? They did not deserve this. And, you know, kind of going through that in your head, and just knowing that your love is never wasted. You gave what you gave, and you did what you did because you are who you are. And that's a good thing. Okay. So you have the rose quartz that's broke here. And I always like to think of this as, even though that you may be somewhat broken here, it's just a reminder of what you need to do in order to protect yourself or protect your heart and to keep growing. It's a learning experience, right? You know, you may have seen some red flags and some things that gone on here, and you kind of brush those to the side. But this is about learning to have empathy and love, like that card says, for yourself just as much as you do for someone else. And how important that is. So before you kind of set your emotions or your priorities or your empathy, you know, compassion or respect to the side, make sure that you're also living up to your own standards there whenever you are loving someone. And if they love you back and if they mean it, they'll respect that. We have FINZQCRNE. Okay. Alright guys, so I'm going to hold this up so y'all can see it, and I'm going to leave it right here. So thank y'all so much for being here. I really hope this helps. Definitely good luck to you guys with this, and I'm sending you so much love and light, and I hope to see you guys soon. Bye. Hey, pile 2. So if you chose number 35, harmony, peace, and balance. Now, we are talking about what you need to know at this time. So 35 could be important, of course. 3 is the number of growth and expansion, and also communication and family too. The 3rd house. I don't know if y'all can tell, but I've been studying the houses, and I mention them a lot. I've noticed in the readings, going back and kind of looking at them. So hopefully, I don't know, maybe somebody needs to hear that or needs to know that. But maybe you need to see what zodiac sign is in your 3rd house. That might be relevant. So the number 5 is also about change. You know, it's about changes taking place. It's right in the middle between 1 and 10. So when it comes to a journey or a path cycle that you're on, if you're looking at it in that way, you're right smack dab in the middle, and that's when things start to really shift and change. Okay, so this is what we're looking at here with harmony, peace, and balance. And I have a very annoying fuzzy off my shirt on my face. Maybe that's something that's annoying you. And you're looking for peace, right? Okay, so this says harmony, a peaceful, consistent, and balanced state of being. Step into your inner peace, as peace is your power in this phase of your life. To live in harmony means honoring your truth, calming your mind, and nourishing your body. Harmony is about peace, or balance, and how you perceive and respond to the outside world. Dedicating this time to harmonious life will result in greater productivity and a clear path towards your deepest dreams. I achieve my goals with ease. This is on the page number 38. Okay. So believing in yourself, I don't know why, something that popped in my head when I was reading this. I think it was because I say and recently I had someone leave a comment and said, no one wants to hear a reader that says all the time. And that was a huge trigger for me because I am very dyslexic and I've never gotten the proper, when I was young, I never got the proper, way of handling that in school. I kind of was embarrassed, and so my mother kind of, maneuvered things around my embarrassment, and so I never really got the proper education around that. unlike my children, which my middle son is dyslexic as well. And there's so many different types of that. But my filler word is numb. If any of y'all know anything about dyslexia, sometimes you have this filler word. That is my filler word, and I've used it my whole entire life. And it's just, what it does, a filler word is where it gives you a second to be able to calculate what's going on in your mind and to connect everything. So you can kind of make sense of it before it comes out. And so is my filler word, and it's, as an adult, taken me, that's something that you have to work on because I've used it my whole life. So I don't know why I was reading and that was something that popped in my head. I don't even know if I actually said, I probably did. I don't realize it when I do it, but see. Anyways, now that's going to bug me your whole entire reading. Anyways, I think it's great how she's sitting in this field of lavender. And I'm pretty sure that's like chamomile, right? Maybe. So with that being said, and me telling y'all that whole story, there's this feeling of believing in yourself and kind of keeping this peaceful, calm state of mind, like the way that she is with inside of all those flowers, to where you block out the outside world from being able to disrupt, your peace internally, how you see yourself, how you know yourself. Maintaining that sense of balance, I think, is really important, especially because it talked about when it comes to productivity, when it comes to a balanced life in general, Okay, so this is what we're talking about. So we're going to start with, I start with different oracles for everybody. Ooh, I feel drawn to, I'm excited. I felt drawn to these. These are Once Upon a Dream oracles. These are, I just realized that because I told y'all that story. Now every time I say it may be annoying. So I'm sorry if it is. Sometimes when people point things out, it becomes more annoying. Okay. Okay, Once Upon a Dream oracles. These are from Moon Moth Goddess, who's another reader on YouTube, does pick of cards. She's pretty great. These oracles are really awesome too. If y'all are interested in these, I'm pretty sure she still sells all of them, but as far as a reader goes, the cards themselves, they're just good quality cards. Okay. Tell me about pile 2. What do they need to know at this time? You have content. You have grounded. She's wearing a wedding ring and it reminds me of devotion, but I feel this like self-devotion, okay? You also have distraction that's here as well. Needing to stay committed to yourself and your peace and your own internal balance is important in y'all's reading as far as what you need to know. This grounded energy, needing to stay grounded, needing to stay connected internally, because this destruction that's here can look like self-destruction. But I can say, because that book talks about the outside world, that could be a big part of it, but allowing all of that to keep you stuck or allowing it to be maintained inside of you is basically like when other people are talking about you and then you can't get over what someone said. You just let it ruminate in your head, or if you're someone that can self-reflect, it's crazy because there has to be like that balance like this talks about with everything. And if you are someone that does, you're self-aware and you self-reflect despite what others say, it's almost like you can't help it. Okay, if someone says, hey, you're being stubborn, then you're going to look at that and say, you may initially, respond and say, I am not. And but still later you may in your head say, am I being stubborn? If you're very self-aware, you will be asking yourself these questions, which is a good thing. But if you sit there on that for too long, too much, it can be self-destructive, right? It can, open the floodgates to other areas in your life and overcrowd, the balance in other areas of your life. So I don't know why that's so important here, but that's something that's here. Yeah, look, commitment, being stubborn. Peace and harmony, being stubborn. Some of you, this may have something to do with a marriage or a commitment. And it's funny too, because I'm only just now realizing that you have grounded, but then you have destruction here. Content and then commitment. Some of y'all may be kind of going back and forth with your independence and a partnership, having a hard time, or you could be with someone that's having a hard time with this, having a hard time being able to find that balance, ground that idea of being independent, why being also in a partnership and valuing the other person and connecting with them in a peaceful way to where you're not being stubborn, or you're not being, on your own path, but you're including them as part of that. Some of y'all may be struggling with that, or you're with someone that's struggling with that. And it could be hurting the situation. It could be hurting the commitment. It could be hurting the relationship. For some of you, though, this is about you and this relationship that you have with yourself, okay? Okay, so we have suspicious at the bottom and home with blinded and mask. Announcement, patience, interference. I think because of this lack of commitment maybe, or a lack of being able to find that balance or peace with something, maybe perhaps on what it is that you want or maintaining who you are, is causing some kind of destruction. And someone around you could be getting kind of suspicious here. Someone maybe within the home. Of course, this could be someone that you're with, someone that you could be married to. Maybe being somewhat blindsided, feeling like they've been really patient here, but someone's been wearing a mask. For others of you, this may have to do with yourself, and you're dealing with a friendship or a family member or somebody around you that may be very suspicious about you may be suspicious about them, or they may be suspicious about you and speculating here and what's going on here with your home or who you are. Someone, I feel like, may be kind of wearing a mask around you, or they feel like that you can't see something the way that they see it. There's also, I feel like there's somebody here that's kind of determined to have their sense of freedom here too. I mean, this could also be you breaking yourself away from someone else's suspicion. Okay, we need to get the tarot, because I feel like there's a lot of different types of storylines that are coming through. So we're going to use no, we're not. We were. We are going to use it. Let's use this. This is what is this? This is the Mythos Tarot, right? That's how you say it. Okay, we're switching things up a little bit, kind of throwing me off, but I really wanted to use that other deck, but I guess not. I don't feel like it's right to use in your reading. It's weird. It's kind of can't really describe that feeling, but okay, we're going to go with this one. Justice in reverse, the Emperor in reverse. I mean, okay, so we're starting to kind of really tie down this storyline. You may or may not start to feel like you resonate with this. I would say there are some takeaways, though, if you're not in a relationship or a commitment, because I think this has a lot to do with your internal independence outside of other people around you being a part of. I feel like your path. Okay, so we have Aries and Libra here. Justice in reverse with the Emperor is basically feeling like someone's being unfair. You know, it's not balanced. Someone's being unfair here with you. It's also you kind of questioning that too. Is this, you know, someone that you can see as that person that, I mean, there's a lack of commitment that's there. Okay. Let's tie this down. I feel like I'm all over the place. Tell me about what pile 2 needs to know. I think you also have a lot of things in your mind that you're questioning, or that you're. It could be because of somebody else's behavior that you're questioning, or someone's questioning a lot. Okay. We're starting with the King of Wands. So this is Leo energy. Could be Aries or Sagittarius as well, though. Tell me about what pile 2 needs to know. You have a 7 of Swords in the reverse. So that's about coming clean. Or seeing someone for who they are, you know, accepting someone for who they are. Now you have a King of Cups in the reverse. Scorpio energy. This can be about well, for me, the King of Cups in reverse is always, especially next to that 7 of Swords, it's kind of a representation of a emotional manipulator, someone that, but I want to say, if this is your reading and this is you here, this could also have to do with like an imbalance in your emotions about something. So you could be the one that is struggling here with what you want or who you are, and wanting to balance out your emotions, because this could be causing some destruction here. I think y'all are kind of fighting with this, or someone's fighting with this. We have the Chariot in reverse. That's Cancer energy. Let's move these down a little bit. And the 9 of Wands in the reverse. To me, the Chariot in reverse may be this destructive energy. So something not going the way that you intended, or it's not going according to plan. I just had an image in my head. It was a movie. I haven't seen it in a long time. And it's 2 people and they're in like a chariot, and they're like investigating something or whatever, and they're together, but they're a weird, odd bunch of friends, and they have a path, and they're going down this certain path, and the horses take off in a certain direction, and the other guy next to him is saying, "This is not it. This is not what we intended. This is not what we're doing." And the other guy says, "Well, I guess this is what we're doing." He doesn't know how to control the horses, though, is the thing. It has nothing to do with like them taking off. It has to do with the fact that he doesn't know how to actually take a hold of the reins and control the horses. And so I don't know why that's something that's here, though, like being destructive. You don't know how to kind of control someone, and I don't mean that in a bad way. That came across as bad, but it's like, maybe that's the opposite. You know, someone's afraid of that. They're afraid of someone else controlling them, or being in something codependent. You know, we talk about how codependency and all these kinds of things about not being codependent, and other people being codependent. This could be actually someone that has so much like dependent or independence that they feel like a commitment would lead to being codependent on someone, and this is something that they try to steer away from. There's a lot of different reasons why someone would be in that type of energy. But one of them here on the table is that they feel as if that would make them feel like they don't have control. The 9 of Wands is giving up. The 9 of Wands is feeling like you can't win this fight, you know. It can also look like giving in. So let's see, why is that King of Wands here? You have a Queen of Wands, wow. So you have counterpart energy there. So this is a commitment, this is a relationship that we're looking at. Sagittarius for me. Why is it Seven of Swords in the reverse though? What is that? The Devil. I love this card. Actually, I know a guy that's given away these exact puppies, and I don't know what the name of them is, but I know they get really big. I love this card because, and I know I hate to say that because it's the devil, but who cares, right? It's just the tarot. Capricorn energy here. So the reason I like it is because it's the devil. And look, he's got a little puppy in his hands. Like, that's deceiving, right? So with that being the Seven of Swords there, there's definitely this, I think what's unfolding here is someone's like becoming aware of this maybe obsessive need to remain or stay independent. This could also be like you seeing a certain side to someone, you know, you starting to kind of catch on or see a certain side to someone, knowing that that's something that you don't know if you want to have to kind of be, do you want to be in that chariot with that person? You know, it's that kind of a thing. So why is that King of Cups in the reverse? The Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. This is when you're really questioning whether or not something has what it is that you need. Not being satisfied or happy when it comes to the emotional balance that's here. So you don't feel good about where you are, basically. Or someone, you don't feel good about someone else and where they are emotionally either. It's like not being emotionally satisfied, basically, is what we're looking at. And there's such an imbalance there with that. What is the devil? Because I feel like it could be this emotional imbalance or manipulation that's being shown to you in this person, but this could also represent some kind of toxicities or addictions or something that's been shown to you that you're also seeing. What is the devil anyway? The Six of Wands in reverse. It could be how someone else's ego affects them personally. So this can be like recognizing that someone, when they get a bruised ego, they could act out, you know. What else? There's something else that's there that I'm missing. The Four of Wands in the reverse. So we saw home here. What was under that? Blinded. Okay. So I think that at some point, and you may live with this person with the home here with the four of Wands. You share a home with, commitment with. This could also be the marriage. So there could be a there goes my voice. That was a hard one to say. So a fear of that is here, being tied down or stuck. The way you see commitment or the way you see marriage or someone does, it makes them feel very tied down, like the devil. Or this could be someone else's like toxicities that you're seeing and the lack of success that you kind of see here. So you're looking at a commitment or relationship and saying, I don't honestly feel like that this is something that's going to be successful. You know, it's funny because we're talking about harmony and you have the Four of Wands in reverse, which is a lack of harmony. So if this feels like if there's a commitment, there's a lack of peace in the home. You know, there's a lack of harmony here due to someone else's pride or ego or something like that. And that's being shown. This also may have started or was a very lustful connection, very fiery connection. Like you're very attracted to this person, drawn into this person, towards this person. But Why is the Chariot in the reverse? Cancer energy. You have a Knight of Swords in the reverse. Okay. I think somebody wasn't honest with you about the direction that something was going in. Yeah. The Knight of Swords in reverse can look like somebody that's not being honest about their actions. So that's something that's playing an effect on the relationship, causing suspicion within the home. Tell me about the Nine of Wands in the reverse. The Queen of Swords. Look at her. She's looking, y'all probably can't see this, but she is at her eyes dead set on this Chariot. She's looking right at it. This is Libra energy here. With that Nine of Wands being in reverse, I feel like this is you making a smart decision. Are you in a place to where you're thinking about throwing in the towel here on something because you feel as if there's been some things that have been shown to you, despite the attraction that you feel for this person and the confidence that you feel like this person may have had, or you have had with them. There's this disruption that's taking place, and it's due to this, some things have been shown to you that has caused this disharmony when it comes to this person's ego, and there's fear of a lack of success in the foundation of the relationship. And most importantly, though, I do feel like that there's been some major things that have been shown to you. But I feel like you're just not satisfied here with the emotional imbalance that's taking place and the lack of progress, Something being out of your control, someone else's actions. This is like saying, I can't control what that person does. And I don't want to have to control what that person does. I don't want to have to think about what that person, there's a lot of things here that are like, with that Nine of Wands, let me explain this because I think it would be a better way of putting it. The Nine of Wands is like when you tired. That's the way I know how to put it. You're tired. You're tired. It's just like, I do not want to have to fight a battle. This is supposed to be a commitment. This is supposed to be contentment. This is supposed to be harmony and balance and groundedness. And I don't want to have to fight a battle. I don't want to have to stay in my Queen of Swords, I want to be able to be in my feminine energy and receptive and open. And the Queen of Swords, she can't do that because she always feels like she has to defend, stand ground, stand strong for it, stand up for it. You don't want to be in a commitment or a relationship with someone that you feel like you have to teach them how to be in a commitment or a relationship. And I feel like that's kind of what you're seeing here. I'll be right back. So sorry, guys. I heard a loud bang. And I have, children. So I had to go check and make sure everybody's fine. They are. So we're good. Okay, so I want to tap more into... See, it's funny, too, because the nine's here. So you are thinking independently, right? You're thinking independently. For some of you, this might actually have to do with the opinions of others when it comes to a commitment you're in, a relationship you're in. And considering, like I said before, with being stubborn, but still considering what's being said, it's kind of hard not to. When your family or your friends say something about somebody, and immediately there's this defensive energy, like I have to defend this person because I love this person, I care about this person, I'm with this person. But then you also, they plant seeds in your mind that it's hard to unsee and hear, right? And so you think to yourself, are they being that way? And you kind of start to judge them in that narrative that person, that your family has put or given to you. And some things may start to unfold, and you're starting to think to yourself, oh, they do that. Or is that what it's like? They are doing that. Let me tell you something. I'm 40, right? And I've been married twice, and I've been in I'm just going to be honest, I've been in some real screwed up relationships. I mean, my picker was completely off because, well, I was molested by my dad when I was, I don't know, like 8, 9, 10, as far as I remember. And I didn't tell my mother about it well, she died when I was 16. She never knew. So she always tried to maintain some kind of relationship because she didn't know. He did the same thing to my sister, but my sister, that was not her real dad. We're half sisters. And so she tried to, I guess, I don't know what she was trying to do. She's not here. I can't ask her. If I would have been older, I would have. But anyway, the point of the story is it's just threw my picker off, right? And lots of different traumatic ways. So I unfortunately experienced a lot of harsh relationships because I stayed in things I shouldn't have for too long. Kind of turn the blind eye. This is what I'm getting at here, right? Blinded. But after the fact, looking back and thinking of my family, my friends, as delicate as they could at times. Now, some of them didn't. Some of them were straight out. But some of them were very delicate with how they approached communicating to me what they could see was happening. Now, these are my family members and friends I've had for my whole life that, could see the situation. And I was absorbed into the environment that I was in. And the person that I was with, that I'm specifically referring to, was manipulative, very abusive and controlling and everything. But I was fixated on the fact that I wanted that commitment. I wanted that relationship. I wanted to, have a certain life and certain things. And that was part of it. And I stuck in it. But I couldn't see it. Why? Because I was being manipulated. I had someone that was making me feel like, gaslighting me and using all the tactics, making me feel like I wasn't living something that I actually was. And so when I would question that or bring that out, they would make me feel bad for even asking about it. And of course my family could see that. I couldn't see it. And I eventually had to see it on my own. And that's kind of sometimes the only way. And that sometimes, unfortunately, takes a few times. And sadly, some people don't ever actually get out of it. If you've gotten out of something here, I feel like that you're needing to make peace with that, because I think that you did what you needed to do. I want to say that. But for others of you, you're trying to figure this out, suspicious here. You're trying to figure this out. You're trying to figure this out about this person. And I think that you're stepping into this Queen of Swords where you're thinking logically now you're looking at this person's actions and not just, what they're communicating to you. Tell me about that Knight of Pentacles in the reverse with that King of Swords or King of Cups in the reverse. The loud bang that was, y'all may not have heard it, but that I went and checked on was a picture that I have. It's a picture about home, home sweet home or something like that, that's in my living room that fell because my son was on the couch and knocked it and hit it and it fell. I don't know if that means something to somebody, but that's kind of weird because it's feeling like you're reading, right? So you may have had certain kind of idea of what you wanted here. Like I just got done telling my story. And you may feel like that's kind of, with the Chariot in reverse, going off the rails, right? Why is the Knight of Swords in the reverse here? The Hanged Man in reverse. Feeling trapped at not being able to have someone see it in a certain way. This is a feeling of feeling bound or stuck too. Why is that? Pisces there. The Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. Yeah, lack of progress. It's like you're not moving forward. Things aren't moving. Things aren't changing. Things aren't, progressing. Okay, tell me about this person. Tell me about this person that's here. This King of Wands. You have a Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Again, this is like when someone's really bound and determined to do something their way, or not do something because of they want their way. Yeah, look at that. 3 of Pentacles in the reverse. That's someone that's not committing. And you see how she's about to cut the cord there? This is someone that's not willing to put in the work or effort, or willing to work something out. They're just very stubborn. This is like somebody very stubborn. Look at that. 5 of Swords. And the 8 of Swords. Why the 8 of Swords, I wonder? Let's see. See, that's Medusa. She turns men to stone, right? Her story's very sad, actually. My son had a book that we read, he came home with. It was about Medusa and Cyclops. And it was little characters, you know, it was a story. And the Cyclops made this, for whatever reason, because he has one eye, he could look at her and not turn to stone. And they become friends in the story. And she makes him this thing for his eyes. Anyway. What's the point in that? What was behind that? Why did I say that? Talk about that. This is a feeling of feeling stuck. This person, like being trapped in your own head, trapped in your own mindset. I think this person struggles with commitment anyways. I already talked about this before, right? Give me some more information about that. It's like Medusa. It's like everything kind of turns to stone. This may be also the way you feel, honestly. Maybe you've been in relationships where you feel like it only ever gets so far, you know? Tell me about the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. Oh, okay. How funny. That's the Knight of Wands, and it just fell on the floor. Knight of Pentacles, Knight of Wands. So the thing is with this person, if they were in this commitment here with you, they would have to leave this on the floor. The Knight of Wands, which is someone that's basically very independent. You know, they can kind of run off and do whatever they want whenever they want. And this is why you're struggling here with this person, if you are, is because of this energy. This is someone that's, you know, unwilling to kind of leave this energy behind, because it would take away their independence here. The 3 of Pentacles in the reverse. The 10 of Wands. Yeah, this is someone that feels like a commitment would be a burden. The Sun. The 5 of Swords. Be careful of this person, like, turning things around on you. Like, if they feel like you're pressuring them in some kind of way. Leo energy with the Sun. I think this person also feels like they can see I don't think that you are this way, but I haven't really like looked too far into your energy. I'm just telling you how this person's seeing things. They feel like there's going to be this conflict. To be honest with you, this may be somebody that doesn't want commitment or doesn't want to move in that direction, but they feel like if they were to talk to you about this or bring this up, it's like it turns into this conflict. Especially if it has to do with marriage or commitment, right? Committing to something always kind of results in some kind of conflict. This is how they feel. So they feel kind of trapped here or stuck. The Fool in reverse. This is somebody that has a fear of making a mistake. The High Priestess here in reverse, Pisces, Aries energies there. There it is, the Emperor in reverse. This is somebody that keeps themselves in a place where they're unwilling to take the risk because they're afraid it's going to be a mistake. Unfortunately, I'm sorry guys, that's what's coming out. So it creates a lot of destruction. It creates a lot of issues. I don't know why I feel like some of y'all may have like feminine energies around you here telling you to cut the cord. You see that these are generations, right? So you may have family. I keep mentioning that anyways. Yeah. Like a mother, a grandmother. Some of y'all may have a grandmother that's passed because you see all these flowers that are here with the grandmother and the way her eyes are. I don't know. Anyway. Okay, let's see what this person's gonna do, if they're gonna do anything. The Two of Cups in reverse. The Five of Cups. The Moon. Pisces. Well, that doesn't look good. That Two of Cups in reverse is a breakup. It's separation. The Five of Cups is sadness. I mean, the Moon is the same way. It's being in your emotions, being confused. This is like somebody breaking up here because they're confused. I don't understand that. Why is the Two of Cups here in reverse? The Four of Pentacles in the reverse. This is somebody that wants to break themselves free of a relationship or a commitment. Tell me about the Five of Cups. If you've already left this person and you're sitting in this place of finding balance and peace with that, I feel like that this is because I'm asking what their actions are going to be, right? So I feel like that this is someone that honestly, they never were someone that you could trust to begin with. I feel like this is someone that's always kind of really kept kind of fighting for their freedom. Five of Cups. The Tower in reverse. Scorpio energy. This is even somebody that would say, like, I may regret this later, you know? That Five of Cups in that Tower in reverse. It feels like somebody that's... Is that what that is? The Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, this is somebody that's saying it's better to do this now than later, or it's better to do this now and go through this period of like sadness now than it is to be after a tower's fully built and grown and everything, and then to do it then. So this is somebody that's trying to avoid, feels like they're trying to avoid a disaster or avoid a chaos or a conflict by, you know, freeing themselves from this now. And you know, this could be your energy. This could be you, I guess, you know, making this decision. Tell me about the Moon. The Two of Wands in reverse. Being confused. The Six of Cups in reverse. If someone... If someone here has a past with someone. There's someone in their past. There's some kind of emotional confusion here about the past. Temperance. There's the balance. This is somebody that's carrying some kind of emotional baggage, and it could be because of something that happened between the two of you, but it could also be something that happened with them and someone else of their past. I would only say that if you knew that there was someone there. Temperate Sagittarius here. This feels like somebody that's confused about how they feel. I mean, overall. How are you seeing or feeling about this person? Kind of already got that, but King of Pentacles. So you feel like, I mean, this, you could have been married to this person or in commitment with this person. That's how you're seeing them. So you felt like this was your, forever person. The Hermit. You feel like this person's quiet. Capricorn, Virgo. And the Queen of Cups. You love this person. You care about this person. How are you seeing this person? The Magician. You feel like this is the relationship that you wanted. This is the connection that you manifested, right? This is the person that's for you. Hermit. The Two of Pentacles. Queen of Cups. The Ten of Pentacles in the reverse. That's interesting. Strength in reverse. Knight of Cups in the reverse. And the Queen of Pentacles. Justice in the reverse. I feel like you feel like that this would be a great loss. The Ten of Pentacles in reverse can be like when there's a broken home or potential that's lost. This is how you're seeing this person with the Two of Pentacles and the Hermit. You see them as trying to make a decision, going back and forth, trying to, yeah, you've known this, haven't you? I feel like you also realize that either way, you're able to find your strength here. You don't feel like that this is someone that can, I wanted to say carry you. And how do I mean that? Like, you don't feel like this is someone that you can fall into, when you need it. I think that you're trying to find your internal strength here. Yeah, look, the Death is there. That Ten of Swords in reverse. This is you acknowledging that something was just not right, not fair, not balanced. And things change, Yeah, there's judgment. This is making a judgment call. Why is this person walking away, though? Here. Why are they walking away? Well, besides their freedom. The Lovers and the Five of Wands in reverse just came out. You know what's so funny about this? I said Medusa turns people into stone. You have the stone here. This man is a stone that she's hugging. What does that mean? Why is this person walking away? The Lovers. There's that Strength in reverse. The Five of Wands in the reverse. The Wheel of Fortune in the reverse. The Eight of Wands in the reverse. Okay, I'm just going to be honest with you guys. I feel like if there's... Some of you, this person may already have been with someone, or they're going back to someone. Some of you, that's not the case, okay? So don't try to make that fit or try to force that into it. The Wheel of Fortune is like going back. The Five of Wands is making amends. Is the Strength in reverse. I think with the Lovers is this person has a weakness here. What is their weakness here with the Strength in reverse? Look at that. Three of Cups, confirmation. The Three of Wands in the reverse. Okay. Sorry guys, my son is bugging me. The Eight of Wands in reverse. The Three of Wands in the reverse is when you're tired of waiting for something. Eight of Wands in reverse, the World in reverse. I mean, this is in the Ace, more confirmation. There's two aces in the bottom of this deck. Wow, this person's walking away. The World in reverse is unfinished business. This person feels like they have unfinished business. This could just simply them saying, you know, I'm not ready for a commitment. And that's their unfinished business. Three of Swords in reverse, page of the Ace of Cups. There's three aces right here. Okay. That may be something that you're already aware of. This could have been a choice that this person made in the past, and it's just kind of, they don't feel like things can get resolved after the fact, you know. That could be it as well. I feel like I need to get a clarifier. That was not the direction that I was thinking that this was going to go. Can you clarify that with this person? What's going to happen here? Fated meeting. Oop. Yes. Grass is greener. Sorry guys, that was my son. Yeah. Look what came out. Oh look, I landed on a crossroads. Player, third party. Relationship. Making a choice about a relationship. Fear, home. There's home and single in reconciliation text message. Date, wedding, friends. Guys, if you, I mean, okay, sometimes you can resonate with the reading and then when it gets towards the end or it gets further in, maybe you stop resonating with it. So this isn't going to be everybody's story, but I feel like for some of you, this person may be walking away from you and going towards something else or making a choice. Or they've already done that. And this is what you're afraid of. Let's see what this person would say. I'm actually going to use a different kind of card because of this way this reading just went. So it's not what I was... I feel like that we went on a roller coaster here. I don't know why. There's something to do with this person's eye. How you're seeing them. Look at his eye. It's like got the sun right there. He's kind of like squinting in that side. I don't know, something to do with this person's eye. Anyway, I don't know why that caught my attention. What would this person say to you if they could say anything? Whoa. Situationship. I don't think we need to label things or define our relationship. Well, that's them. Look, best friend. I love that I can confide in you about anything. You've been supportive. and I'm fortunate to have you in my life. So that just clarifies what I've already talked about. We have stop here, unstable. To be honest, I'm kind of a mess. We have chemistry here. Yeah, I think that you may have gotten in this relationship with this person because of the chemistry. I'm totally feeling the crazy vibes with you. We have benched. I'll give you just enough attention to keep you around as a backup option. Yikes. Mixed signals. I don't mean to confuse you, but I don't know what I want right now. We have children here, and laughter, and spiritual. Let's read children first. This is bigger than the two of us, and that's a lot. And there's a lot at stake. Let's make thoughtful decisions since we can't afford to play games here. Laughter. Nobody makes me laugh like you do. And spiritual. I love how aligned we are with our beliefs and our core values. We can really grow together. And Polly is here. Be careful of this person. I mean, no judgment here if that's what you're going for, but it feels like this person may be trying to have their cake and eat it too, and that's the way I've always seen that, you know. I don't know what I meant. I don't know that I'm meant to be with only one person in my life, y'all. I'm gonna leave that right there. Okay, this reading took a weird turn. And let's get some advice off that. So that's interesting. What to do for advice. I don't even know where to take this reading now. I don't even know what to say, guys. What advice do you have? Express your love. It's important to let people know that you love them. You have nothing to lose. Reconciliation is here. Someone from your past is or will be returning into your life soon. For some of you, I may have read a different situation. Huh. I have to go back and listen to it now. Deception. Someone is wearing a mask in this relationship. Yep, it's right there. Mask. Right under blinded. And home and suspicious. You had your suspicions here, right? Be present. True love is at the bottom of the deck, but I wasn't going to even take it. You will attract love by enjoying life as it is. Whatever you are, be all there. In true love, this is a romance of a lifetime. True and lasting love is here for you. So I think this is a reminder, you know, that love is here for you. Like, love is there. Sometimes, I mean, I don't think that this is it. But I feel like that doesn't mean that you don't have love for you. This feels like this person, no spark. This just feels like this person is not your match. Because I think that you want commitment. And we saw that at the very beginning of your reading. I don't feel like this person wants commitment. I feel like they want a friend. And they want to have somebody they have chemistry with and laugh with. Maybe even have kids with because of this poly thing. But I feel like they want their freedom. And you may be just now kind of figuring this out. What advice do you have for Paul 2? Man, this isn't going to be everybody's reading, y'all. Only take this if it resonates, please. If anything, I hope this was... I hope you got something out of this. But Spirit Contract 56. Answer the call to your ancestors to connect to the wisdom and receive their support. That family thing is popping in again. And the Spirit Contract is an ancestor, you know, someone that's passed on. So I mentioned that too. I almost caught fire. I said it almost caught fire. It says 45 anti-karmic knots. The situation is linked into a karmic energy. And the reason for your challenge is it's time to work off your karmic debt You have master your fears here, number 68. I'm going to lose my voice. Sorry. Uncover the hidden fears that are ingrained in you and holding you back from living your most authentic life. Being afraid, like what I said. It's like what I said with my story. You know, being afraid I was going to lose the opportunity to have the life that I was imagining or that I wanted. So I kind of held on to that relationship, even after kind of realizing, after everyone else is kind of pointing things out to me, how blatantly obvious it was that, yeah, he was not a good person. Anyway, what advice do you have overall for Paul 2? Take control of your thoughts, number 31. Your thoughts are creating your reality. Have faith and stay focused on the outcome that you truly desire. Yeah. You're still capable of manifesting what you want in a relationship. Just because it may not work out in this situation or with this person, you know, you're forever in a phase where you're stuck. You're not stuck. You know, this can just be a lesson for you, but there's always someone, a match out there for you. You will find your person. That's what this is saying. But you have to be strong enough to recognize it when it's not your person, right? I want to go through this again, since now we've read this and it came across as a little different than what I was imagining. I want to see something. Step into your inner peace, as peace is your power in this phase of your life. I think this is telling you to protect your peace here. To live in harmony means honoring your truth, calming your mind, and nourishing your body. Harmony is about balance and how you perceive and respond to the outside world. Dedicating this time to harmonious life will result in greater productivity and a clear path towards your deepest dreams. This says truly desires, deepest dreams. You know, being in a harmonious place really kind of sets the mood for what's happening around you, you know. But you have to make that. You have to build that. It's just not given. You have to create that by knowing what's right for you, what's not, what's meant for you, what's not, and recognizing, you know, when things aren't, and taking control of it, mastering your fears and being authentic and true to that. I just pulled so many initials. I don't know why. Maybe a lot of y'all resonate with this. I don't know. We have Be a Nice Human. We have the rocket ship. Maybe this is something that kind of took off very quickly because you have these fire signs here. So Queen of Wands and King of Wands. Yeet or be yeeted. Well, I mean, that kind of something. I could have just said that, right? Summed up the whole rating. We have M or W, a K, an E, an I, a P, an R, a U, an F, a G, another F, another R, a J. Oops. We actually have 3 J's in the bowl, so I'll put those together. We have that M or W. We have an N, 3 C's, 2 T's, and an I. Okay. T and T. Okay, guys. So since there's so many initials here, I'm just going to leave y'all here to this. Let y'all sit with this. Yep. All right. So thanks so much for being here, guys. Thanks for all your love and support and kindness, of course. I hope this helps. Good luck, and I hope to see you soon. Pile 3. So if you chose the number 27, grounding, here and now. Okay. So this is supposed to help us to identify with what this reading could pertain to. This is a, you know, whatever you need to know reading. So it's kind of like a mystery reading. We never know what we're going to get, but this is something that could be very helpful moving forward. Okay, so let's read this small little portion here of the book. It says, being in the here and now, staying in the present moment. Bring your mind an image of a tree. Observe how it's rooted in the ground with branches reaching out towards the sky. Its powerful roots buried deep inside the dark hold the strength needed to reach the light. To be grounded means to keep a value strong: kindness, integrity, and staying true to your heart. Only then are we truly able to spread our inner light. Your affirmation: I am connected to my body and I value my heart. And this is on the page number 67. Imagine that. I have 3 boys, and so yeah, we do that a lot. We hear that a lot with all kinds of things. So funny. Okay, so the way that she is kind of sitting in this, in the ground, she's like, kind of buried in the ground. She's, in a way, she feels very vulnerable, but she's connected to the present too. The present, being in the present moment is something that's here, that's important. But she's connecting to the earth here, that groundedness. Okay. So you may be feeling somewhat vulnerable because of being in the present moment and not knowing what's going to happen here in the future. This could be just where your mindset is at this time. Just needing to stay grounded, Okay. That makes me feel like maybe there was some plans or some things that you went through or you had in mind that didn't quite work out. But that's not going to be everybody. Okay, so we're going to use the answer oracles, I feel like, for y'all to get started, to see what this is pertaining to. So your overall message here is about grounding yourself and upholding your values, like that card said, your integrity, kindness, maintaining a sense of who you are, who your heart represents. Okay. It's almost kind of a feeling like you've gone through some things and now you're starting to feel better. You're starting to feel more grounded in the present moment, despite not knowing what's going to happen. You just feel okay. That feeling of just feeling okay. So what does pile 3 need to know at this time? What do they need to know about at this time for pile 3 with grounding? Okay. Secrets. The seagull. Summertime could have been relevant here. I don't know why I want to say that. This says for summer on it right here. Secrets. Something could have happened around summertime that was a secret or something that you're keeping to yourself. Okay. With survival here, this is the seagull. So cunning, perseverance, fearlessness, survival, freedom. I feel like you're breaking yourself free from whatever this was, whatever you've kind of been keeping to yourself. Not that you're like spreading this or telling this. It's like the way you've been feeling about whatever this was is something that you're setting yourself free from, or it's just the fact that you survived something and you've been kind of going through that on your own or internally by yourself, Chaos. And anniversary. So you may be in a place to where you are grounding yourself because you've went through something here. You've kind of dealt with it on your own, kind of kept it internal. You haven't really discussed it. You haven't spread it. You haven't talked a lot about it. I feel like you felt like very alone in this, and you survived it. You're breaking yourself free from that. Now with chaos here, I feel like you're trying to ground yourself, perhaps because there's a particular day that's approaching that maybe somewhat unpredictable, and this could be that future energy, being blinded, not knowing what the future's what's going to happen, that we were talking about. Like, you're already feeling anxious here somewhat about this, and so this is why you're again in this grounded energy. It's like you're okay, but you feel like something's coming, you know? You can feel it internally. You do have betrayal at the bottom, breakup, divorce. For some of you, this is something that you've already experienced and have went through. But for some of you, see how there's the ripple effect in the water with the heart and the feet, and the feet would to me be that groundedness, grounding yourself with the heart. You may also realize or understand that this may be one circumstance or one incident that you know is going to have a ripple effect. Like, you're going to have to ground yourself here, because there's going to be other things that come up that are going to be kind of hard, and maybe some things that are going to be unpredictable. And it's like you're preparing yourself by grounding yourself, and you're keep maintaining who you are and what your values are. This could also be, for some of you though, a particular, like, it's something that is coming and you can feel it, and you're trying to maintain this stability, you know, amongst the instability that's there. Okay. Yeah. For some of you, there's a particular day that's coming around that you feel like it can be unpredictable. This feels like a tower moment here, so exploration is under that, which is underground. It's like you're having to kind of push something down in order to uphold your own integrity in a way. So you're trying to just, again, prepare yourself, you know? Okay, so we're going to use the tarot. This is the Good Fortune Tarot. This is a brand new deck that I haven't used on camera yet, so y'all get to be the ones. We had, 5 of Pentacles, 8 of Pentacles in reverse. For some of y'all, this may have to do with something to do with your career or something like that. Like there's the 2 of Swords. This is going into the unknown blindly. So there's something that you're having to face, perhaps, about not making progress, not being able to move forward. So that's not for everybody, of course. Some of you, this has to do with love. Okay. There's the Page of Cups and the 10 of Cups. There's the Tower. See, I just feel like in the Ace of Pentacles, I just feel as if, like, there's something coming and you know it's coming. Like, you're aware that something's not over and done with. Like, either it's a secret and it hasn't been exposed yet for some of you, especially if this has to do with work or something like that, or this is just simply you knowing that there's more to this ripple effect of what the betrayal is that's already taken place, okay? Tell me about what's Pile 3 needs to know about this. I feel like this is kind of Spirit telling you to stay grounded here, you know. You have the Fool, so there's the opportunity, new beginning, starting over, taking a risk. You have the Magician, Gemini and Aquarius, Aries, little Virgo. There's the Page of Pentacles. The Wheel of Fortune. Wow. Tried to go in reverse, didn't it? Let's get one more and then I'll tell you what I'm seeing here in the Hermit. Wow. So out of 5 cards, 4 are major arcana. So this is definitely something that is happening or going to happen, right? Kind of out of your control. And I think that's obviously why this groundedness is here. You do have the 2 of Pentacles that's here, and the 5 of Wands is trying to show itself. And I just heard in my head of how you conduct yourself. So making a choice of how you want to conduct yourself when it comes to some sort of chaos that's going to take place. So with the Magician, the Page of Pentacles, this is the new beginning. Could be something that you've even kind of manifested, you know. With that Wheel of Fortune, it's kind of, this is about something being fated. It also has to do with timing. So this is going to give you something to really think about, but the Hermit can also be like that isolation. So keeping things to yourself, being quiet, keeping things to yourself, you know. I need some underlying energy. I feel like there's a lot of going on under the surface here. This feels like the surface, and then there's a bunch going on under the surface. So why is the Fool here? Tell me about that. There's that Two of Swords. So this is about making a difficult decision, or having to make a difficult decision. This could be about starting over or taking a risk. Or tell me about the Magician. There's the Tower. Okay, so this is something you created. This Tower here is something that you are creating. Maybe even unknowingly. And now let me explain that, because I feel like people get confused about that. So you could be asking, let's just say you ask the universe a particular thing and they give you an opportunity. So this, you know how they say, ask God for patience and he'll give you an opportunity to be patient. That's kind of what this feels like. So you're trying to make something work here. You're trying to put something together amongst this chaos that you feel that's going on underneath the surface. Why is that Page of Pentacles here? Yeah, look at these cards. This is what I was talking about. Like this, see how light colored these cards are, besides the Hermit, of course, which is Virgo, by the way. And then you have these darker energies down here, which are, she's blindfolded, and this is the Tower. Scorpio energy, by the way. That Eight of Swords with that Page of Pentacles is an opportunity, a new beginning, a lesson, but you're very kind of, it's almost like you feel like your hands are tied here in the situation, or you feel kind of stuck in the situation. Like there's not a lot that you can do. On here, though, there's something to do with this feeling of feeling trapped. Timing may be of a thing here. Like the timing of something. I don't know why, but on this Eight of Swords, there's two swords that are crossing in front of her, which is unusual for the Eight of Swords to be in that way. Because despite if she took those bindings off of her in the blindfold, there's still two swords crossing in front of her, and you do have the Two of Swords here. So it's like you have no choice. It feels like you feel like as if you really do have no choice here but to just take this lesson, you know, and take this opportunity, or have this new beginning here. Tell me about Wheel of Fortune, the High Priestess, Pisces. You have this like internal, you are very keeping things within yourself, though. You're not expressing, you're just not telling a lot. Not expressing a lot, not saying a lot. So with that High Priestess, Pisces, did I say that? I think I already said that. The Pisces is, or this High Priestess is a lot going on under the surface, like I already talked about. And again, it's a darker card here. With that Wheel of Fortune, it's like you have this inner knowing of time will tell, is something that just popped in my head. But like the wheel's gonna go, the wheel's gonna spin. It's like fated, and it's like you can't really explain it, but you just feel like, I heard time will take care of it too, and the same thing. But you just feel, you have this internal knowing that you're following your intuition here, and you're just kind of going with the wheel, you know. You have to kind of move with the wheel, with the way things are. Now it's just heard, life sometimes life moves along, and we just have to move along with it, which is a line in a movie. Hope Floats, her mother says that to her when she's going through a divorce and all this, you know, her husband went and got with her friend and all that stuff's going on, and she says, well, honey, sometimes life just moves along and we just got to move along with it. And that just popped in my head. So why is the Hermit here? So it's this inner knowing that you just kind of have to go along with the situation. You kind of have to move along with the wheel. Why is the Hermit here? I was just thinking in my head, we have all upright cards, and you know, I do reversals. So I was thinking this is a newer deck, but I've worked with this deck for a while, for a couple days, and shuffled and everything, and when I go to bed at night, I'll use it in the bed, just kind of get familiar with the deck and build a relationship with it. And there it is, the Four of Wands in reverse is right when I was thinking that. So this to me is doing some deep soul searching about the lack of harmony or the lack of peace that you really feel. You know, this Four of Wands can be this here too, this important day. Not doing some searching here because you don't feel, it's almost like you really don't feel good about this foundation or the situation or the day, or you just lack peace, so you kind of keep to yourself. For some of you, this could be a particular day where you're just kind of keeping to yourself. Let's get some more about that. See how much there's like so much stuff going on under the surface here? Because of this betrayal, let's not forget we have this here, right? We have this betrayal here. It's almost like you're having to swallow your feelings or emotions. I don't know why, but I just feel like the music started getting loud, so that might mean something too. Let's go back to this. Tell me about, this could be divorce here for some of you, you know, the Four of Wands in reverse. Like that day is coming. You've had to keep to yourself. I don't like this. Sorry guys, I don't know, the music just changed. Like the beach, everything just changed. It's just super weird because that's kind of where we're at here. Like everything just kind of changes. Like I just said that. Sometimes life just kind of changes and you have to move along with it. That's the same feeling. It's like something happened here to you with this betrayal, and you're having to kind of keep this chaos to yourself to kind of keep the peace, I guess, in a way, and just grounding yourself because you know, like the time is coming where you're going to have to face this. Tell me more about the situation, please. The Fool and the Two of Swords. This can be like making a really tough decision. The Four of Swords, yeah. Resting and thinking about it. Yes, you've had your heart broken here, or there's been this heartache, and you've been reevaluating being in this Two of Swords and the Fool, so taking a risk here, and it's been such a hard decision. Why is the Tower and the Fool? Why is the Tower and the Magician here? The Chariot. This is you having to pick yourself up. I mean, after a Tower. This is about you having to have faith in a situation, that whatever this Tower is for the highest good for you, and you have to use all your resources and do what you can, or make the best out of it. Why is that Eight of Swords here with that Page of Pentacles? strength. For some of you, if there's a child here, okay, with the Page of Pentacles, especially if this is a divorce or something like that, where there's been this betrayal, there's this Eight of Swords. There's this understanding here of your hands are tied. Like, you have to be strong. You just have to. You have to be strong here because there's a child involved. And despite how you feel about the other person or what has occurred, you don't have any other choice there but that. So this is, again, why you needing to ground yourself and uphold your integrity, right? And who you are as a person. This is Leo energy that's here. But for others of you, if that's not the situation, then this can just represent, you feeling like you need to, this new beginning is here, or this opportunity for this new beginning, and you're having to be strong. This is also about a lesson as well, and this is internal strength and patience. And it's also about having grace with yourself. Okay. It's weird because the Eight of Swords, normally we see that as self-imprisonment. Like you can get up and walk away from that if you need to. And here I think you actually can, but because of the circumstances, you feel like the right thing or the integral thing, if that's a word. Is that a word? Anyway, that to do here would be to be strong in the situation. Which is not an easy thing to do. Tell me about and Cancer's here too with Leo. Why is that High Priestess here with the Wheel of Fortune? There's the King of Pentacles. This is where you're standing your ground here with this King of Pentacles. This is this grounding energy in the here and now. This is the wheel that we talked about, Capricorn here with this High Priestess. If this is someone else, it's about you having this inner knowing that this is someone else's fate, or you're putting it in the hands of the wheel. So in other words, like karma, putting it in the hands of the universe. But if this is your energy here with this King of Pentacles, this is just you staying grounded in the situation because you have an inner knowing that things are happening in the way that they're meant to or supposed to. Even if you can't really explain it, even if it feels uncomfortable. Tell me about the Four of Wands in the reverse with that Hermit. Yeah, the Page of Cups. Give me one more for that. The Six of Pentacles. This to me feels like maintaining a sense of, how am I going to explain this? This is a, yeah, this is hard. I mean, this is hard on you. I think it's just hard on the whole situation, to be honest with you, but it's weird because you see how on this card you have the heart and the pentacles on the scale, but the pentacles is there's more of, and then there's this generosity or giving. The Page of Pentacles can be like an apology. So this can be like an apology for creating a lack of harmony or peace in a situation. So this can be coming from someone, of course, but it's deeper than that. With that Hermit being there, this is like doing some deep soul searching and knowing that I really feel like there's a child involved. But anyway, this is like being balanced and being equal with one another in order for the peace for everybody, or the peace for all, despite the lack of harmony that you do feel about the situation altogether. But this feels very transactional, or it feels very purposeful, or because of, you know? If there is a child here, it can be like because of the love of a child, you're having to exchange or be generous here, despite the fact that you're now divorced, or despite the fact that there's this disharmony in the foundation. Interesting. Important day. We're right around the holidays, so this could be part of this important day, but this could also be somebody's, because it does say birthday, holiday, important day, so this could also be somebody's birthday as well. Interesting. So what do you need to know as far as advice here in this situation? What do you need to know as far as advice in this situation here for pile 3? The 4 of Pentacles. Keeping things to yourself is definitely something that's here. Keeping quiet. If you know that you are in a situation that you're having to maintain, that feels like you could easily be triggered, then there's definitely this feeling of keeping to yourself, minimum communication, minimum generosity, you know what I mean? Just like giving enough. But let's see what else. Yeah, the 3 of Wands. I would say not to put like crazy high expectations on this situation, and maintain your distance here. Two of Cups. There is this like partnership that's here, but I wouldn't put any crazy high expectations on this partnership or on this agreement. Why is the 4 of Pentacles here? The 7 of Cups. Don't, this is limitations on yourself. Boundaries with yourself. Don't allow yourself to get up in your head or start to get emotionally confused or fantasize about the situation being something other than what it is. Stay very grounded. We're going back to this grounded energy. 3 of Wands. The Lovers. You have the Lovers and the 2 of Cups here. So this is... This could be about distancing yourself from someone else as well, or someone else's choice or a situation. Not involving yourself into someone else's stuff is something that keeps coming across in the reading as well, in order to maintain your groundedness or your peace. This is Gemini energy. Yeah. But this is also about not putting any crazy high expectations on the situation, especially within the dynamics of a relationship or a partnership. There's this practicability that's here. Why is the 2 of Cups here? The Knight of Wands. Give me another card for that. Kind of a weird combination. The Page of Wands. I feel like y'all are walking on very shaky ground here. It's almost like walking a tightrope. That's kind of what it feels like in a situation. See, he's looking right at that owl in that 7 of Cups, which is the card of wisdom. An owl represents wisdom. And here in the 2 of Cups, you see the owl that's flying away with the crown falling. So with that Knight of Wands, I feel like this is saying don't let your desire get the better of you here. With that Page of Wands, this can be like being very curious about someone's actions or what's going on with someone, or your desires, you know, getting kind of the better of you. But to me, this is saying stick to some sort of agreement or stick to some sort of partnership here, and don't let this take, you know, get carried away or take off or anything like that. Tell me what is about that. Yeah, the Empress. This is about you just maintaining this. Maintaining your, what the card says in the very beginning. Your integrity, your kindness, your values, your morals. This is you sitting in your power and maintaining this. How you want to represent yourself. Tell me about the Lovers. The Four of Cups. I feel like whatever it is that you see in this situation, you have this inner knowing, you know? You know that there's a lot. I feel like you know that there is, whatever you're seeing in the situation may not necessarily be exactly what the situation is. And I think that you know that, but it's telling you to kind of keep that internal, kind of keep that to yourself here. This is about you only taking responsibility for what you have agreed on, and not taking on responsibility for anything else. Only what you have agreed on here. And those agreements are internal. This is what you've agreed to yourself of how you want to represent yourself, how you want to maintain yourself, how you want things to go in the situation, and kind of just sticking to that, you know, not letting your curiosity or your desire or passion or anything kind of get carried away in the situation, because I do feel like this may be something that does test you. Tell me about that, what I just said. Yeah, the Ace of Cups. And then Death. I think it's difficult here for you because I do feel like there's a relationship here that is testing you. That will test you. It will also change. It's changed. So, tell me about the Ace of Cups. The Two of Wands in the reverse. Death. Scorpio energy. The Six of Swords. So, someone may have chosen another path here, or this is just like a relationship that didn't go according to plan. So the Death, or it could have been something that you still have feelings for but has ended, right? That Six of Swords is just getting to a calmer place. But man, he's doing that's a hard hard way of doing it, right? Yeah. To me, that what's changed here in this situation is you went from being very open, open-hearted in a relationship or a situation here, whereas now things have changed and you're just trying to maintain a calmer place. What's that in between energy here? Yeah, the Six of Wands. The Ten of Cups. I think you're just wanting to have a successful outcome, to be honest with you. And I feel like this is telling you to kind of put your emotions the Nine of Cups. I feel like this is telling you to kind of put your emotions or your happiness or desires or whatever it is. You had a particular way of seeing this and what you thought was going to happen. And I don't feel like that happened at all in the way that you expected. But that doesn't mean the feelings here have gone anywhere. Things are changing. And now you're just maintaining this sense of calmer waters and just wanting to have success in the overall situation. There is this realization or this energy here of knowing that of how things could be, you know, that this could be successful. You could have still have emotional fulfillment in the situation. I think that this is something that's just you're having to adapt to kind of a new reality here, and that is definitely going to take some time. That's what this whole thing is about with this groundedness. It's you having to adapt to some kind of new reality. And I think you're just getting your first test at that. And yeah, it doesn't mean that it's hopeless. It just means that you're having to adapt to something totally different from what you anticipated or what you expected. But you still see the value here, or you still see like, you know, like I said, you're moving along with the way that things are, and you don't really have a lot of a choice there. So you're understanding that there could still be this fulfillment that's here. Yeah, justice is here. You feel as if justice will prevail, and I think that that's the most important thing. You're just having to maintain the sense of groundedness through this avalanche of emotions and what you're experiencing, that maintaining this as you go, waiting for that justice to, you know, ultimately unfold. And I think that this is just going to take some time. This feels like a saying, like this feels like, well, one day we'll get to here, one day we'll have that, one day it will look great. You know, it's like this is what this reading feels like. Yeah, Nine of Swords. So I said that before about you being anxious, right? Look at that. Three of Cups, the Three of Swords. So for some of you, that betrayal is this, you have two queens here too. So Three of Cups and the Three of Swords, look there, you have the owl taking that sword off. So this is an understanding and seeing someone's choice and how maybe that choice hurt you, but being wise enough to also see that this is the reality of the situation. There is no going back. There is nothing that you can do about that. This was a choice, and the choice was made, and you're having to, yeah, face that. And then you have this Ten of Pentacles here, so this is about you maintaining your balance. This is also focusing on what you have as your stability around you. So it's like saying, hey, yes, all this occurred in this way, but I still have my own stability. I still have a place I can call my own, a place that I can go, a place that makes me feel grounded, whether that's family around you, your own sense of security, you know, whatever this is here for you. This is you understanding that you still have love here. You still have, like, you didn't let this situation break you. And I think that that's really important here too. You have this, see this cup here. It's funny because she's tossing the water out of the cup there with that Queen of Cups, which is Cancer energy. And the Nine of Swords is here. Sorry guys, I got distracted because I think that there is a wasp in my room. See, I'm having to maintain my sense of calmness about that. It's the same thing. Could sting me at any time. Yeah. It's the same thing with these cards right here. Oh, look. Look, no way. On her bed sheets there's bees. There's bees on her bed sheets. And this, I just said that wasp is in my room. That's so crazy. That is very crazy. Yeah. Okay. Let's get some, I hope this makes sense. I hope this helps. I hope you understand what I'm saying. Basically, the bottom line here is the situation that's going on. I feel like you're having to look at it completely different. This is something it's changing, it's transforming, and you're having to maintain calm waters as this is moving along, despite the fact that there's been like this ripple effect, or you feel like this ripple effect that's taking place. It's kind of like, like when you get divorced, and I don't know what the situation is with y'all, but this is kind of the best way I know how to describe this. It's like when you get divorced, initially there's this, obviously this going apart. So you separation of assets, separation of material things, and then you have to separate, time with your kids if you have kids and all that. And it's just like, then you have to realize that, oh, okay, well, I can't, for instance, in my case, I can't have them on the whole Christmas break. You have to share that time, and there's this feeling of having to adjust to this new reality, and how that it's over a period of time, it like has this ripple effect, and sometimes you don't even realize it until that day comes, and then you're like, oh yeah, I can't just go and plan this big old birthday party. I have someone else I have to check in with that, they do their own thing, that kind of thing, unless you're in a situation to where you can come together. But I don't feel like that here because of this betrayal. I feel like, honestly, feel like this is you having to maintain this sense of groundedness here in the situation for the greater good of all. And I feel like that's something that's very difficult. Yeah. Advice. I hope this makes sense. So let's see if, why did I pull that? That's weird. It's not what I was reaching for. Huh. Okay. This is the Divine Goddess Oracles. So let's see what they have to say as far as advice goes in the situation. Can you give me some kind of advice here? If it makes you feel any different, deception just flew out, and I was fixing to say, if it makes you feel any different, I think that there's someone that's here that did make maybe the wrong choice, or how they went about something. The path that they took wasn't the right path, but I think that this person was just wanting to be happy. I can see that here, right here. Like, confession. Yeah, I think this person may confess something to you if there's someone else here. Confession, denial, obsession, and embrace. Yeah, find peace with your current state of being. I think there's somebody here that was just trying to find peace with the situation, or like a way out or escape or something. And I think they may have made like the wrong choice with that, and that's something that can be here with that. But it doesn't mean that they don't, like it's about them, they still care, That's just made bad choices, which in turn actually hurt you. So do with that what you will. That could be somebody that's wanting to express that to you. Not everybody's story, of course, but that's just obviously something that came out. I was thinking it, and then it literally came out. Okay, so what advice do you have? What advice do you have? Realignment. Yeah, you're having to do that. Shift your perspective for a gained sense of clarity. Fear. Expecting the worst, afraid of failure, wasting time on negative thoughts. That's this right here. And creativity. See, this is just saying show yourself some love and ground yourself. Show yourself some love and ground yourself. And don't get too caught up in expecting the worst out of a situation, right? Creativity, have fun, express yourself in new ways, and pay attention. Look out for signs for the divine. Acknowledge the red flags. So don't allow the situation to, don't allow it to make you cold. Maintain who you are. That's the same thing this card talks about. Maintain your sense of openness and kindness and all that. Just know your limits. Know when something is like, okay, that's the territory. I don't want to talk about that, or I don't want to do that. You have to be able to set know when your limits are. Don't force yourself to definitely don't force yourself to do something that you're not comfortable with, because like I said before, I feel like this is touchy, and I think that it can trigger you easily. Celebration. Again, celebration is here. Good times from hard work spent in good company. I really feel like that there is some sort of important time, something to celebrate, something that's supposed to be fun or harmonious or whatever the case. There's this experience has put like a damper on whatever that is. And this is what you're having to change and maintain and realign with. It's different from what you've experienced in the past. It's just not the same. You're having to, this is your new reality here. Okay, ground yourself. What advice do you have here for pile 3? Your vibration is rising, number 43. This is a time of great spiritual growth for you. You are evolving to occupy a higher energetic frequency. So you did learn a lot about yourself here in the situation. Oh, guys, look, she's touching the water. It's rippling. And she's looking in the water at the ripples, at herself. You be proud of yourself for what you've overcome. Be proud of yourself for what you've experienced here and how you've maintained still this open, good heart throughout this experience. You've stayed committed to who you are, committed to yourself. I think that's really important here. 43, so you have 43, 42. Your prayers are being answered. The prayers are being received by the divine. Answers will come soon, although perhaps in forms that you didn't expect. So you have some surprises here around the corner. The divine has heard you. Your pain and your tears and your prayers and all that doesn't go unseen. Your struggles. The divine hears you. Okay, let's get one more for advice, and then we'll close with some initials here. Okay. Can I have... I saw partnership there, but I'm not going to take it. There's some kind of agreement or partnership that's here. Can I have one for pile 3 advice? Whoa. I like it when they fly out like that. Take a risk. See, that's the Fool that's there, number 25. Overcome the fear of taking a risk, and your bravery will be met with a reward. Let your intuition guide the way. Yeah. I think this is you being brave in this situation. You're being brave here in this situation. And I think, yeah, that definitely will be met with reward. I already said that here. And letting your intuition with that High Priestess that we talked about before. Letting your intuition guide you. Knowing your limitations. Knowing your own boundaries. Listening to yourself. Asking for those to be met, all that's important. Okay. Life's what you make it. Live in the present. And we didn't talk about that enough, apparently, because they're pointing it out again, but this card talks a lot about here and now, living in the present. So that's another thing, you know, I think, where does it talk about it at? It got brought up again. Oh, here we go, right here. Expecting the worst, afraid of failure, wasting time on negative thoughts with this Nine of Swords. You could be having, like, thinking about the future, thinking about what's to come, thinking about, you know, that's anxiety. That's the Nine of Swords. So they're reminding you here to stay in the present moment and what you're dealing with in the present moment. Don't put yourself in a place to where you're starting to get afraid or worried about what the future holds over things that haven't even happened yet, because you don't know how things will happen. And I feel like they're reminding you of this because there may be some things that unfold that you're unaware of how something's going or how something will go, that isn't anything like what you could imagine anyways. And so it just kind of, you know, keeps kind of referring to that, and it keeps kind of saying, stay in this present moment, worry about just the present and what you're doing step by step, day by day. Okay. Whoa. Love is never wasted. I'm sorry if you have headphones on. I know that's loud. Love is never wasted. That's this here. We saw before that the Ace of Cups. You don't have a soul. You are a soul. We have P, W or an M, H, S, L, X, R, 2 A's, and then another 2 M's. Okay, and another T, or 1 T. There's only 1 T. Okay. All right, guys, I'm going to hold this up so y'all can see it, and I'm going to leave you here. So thanks so much for being here. Smart is right in the bowl right there. Smart. Be smart. Thanks so much for being here, guys. Thanks for all your love and support. Xmas is in the bowl too, Christmas, which is coming up. So I don't know when I'm going to get this reading out, but that's there. Saturday also. Okay, I'm going to stop. Thanks so much, guys, for being here. Thanks for all your love and support and kindness, of course. I hope this helps. Good luck with this, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.